Over the past few decades, beginning with Deng Xiaoping's economic reforms in 1978, China has built more cities, roads, and railways than any country in human history, transforming from a rural agrarian society into the world's most urbanized powerhouse, with GDP growth averaging 9.5% annually from 1978 to 2018. Entire skylines appeared almost overnight, with gleaming glass skyscrapers reflecting the surroundings like flawless mirrors, showcasing the geometric precision of modern architecture in cities that emerged rapidly across the nation. This unprecedented boom saw China construct over 40,000 kilometers of high-speed rail by 2023, more than the rest of the world combined, equivalent to building the entire US interstate highway system every 2.5 years since 1993. So how did China build so fast, and why did this aggressive infrastructure development, with total investments reaching 8 to 10% of GDP annually versus 2 to 4% in developed nations, become the engine of its economic growth? China has the world's largest population, reaching 1.412 billion by 2023, which created unprecedented urbanization demands, as the urban population rose from 17.9% in 1978 to 65.2% in 2022. As millions moved from rural areas to cities, a massive rural to urban migration occurred, displacing over 800 million people between 1978 and 2022, illustrated clearly on population maps. This migration generated 300 million migrant workers by 2010, overwhelming existing cities and necessitating rapid housing and transport infrastructure to support the influx. The demand for housing, transportation, and jobs exploded, leading to the construction of 70 billion square meters of floor space between 2000 and 2020, enough for 500 million people in modern residential complexes. Rapid construction became a necessity, not a choice, to accommodate this massive demographic shift and sustain economic growth averaging 9.5% annually over decades. China's government plays a direct role in planning and approving major projects through its centralized system, exemplified by 5-year plans like the 11th Plan from 2006 to 2010 that prioritized high-speed rail. This centralized system, involving the State Council and National Development and Reform Commission, or NDRC, allows decisions to be made quickly, bypassing local vetoes and significantly cutting project timelines. For instance, the Beijing-Daxing Airport, a mega-project approved swiftly, was completed in just 5 years and opened in 2019, a feat rarely seen in other nations where projects take 10+ years. This streamlined approach meant fewer delays, allowing projects to move fast and deliver faster results, contributing significantly to the infrastructure boom across the country. The Communist Party's ability to greenlight projects swiftly, as seen in the 11th 5-year plan prioritizing high-speed rail expansion, was a key enabler of this rapid development. China has access to a massive labor force, with a peak of 290 million construction workers in 2011, allowing for parallel megaprojects to be undertaken simultaneously nationwide. Millions of workers could be mobilized for infrastructure projects at once, often funneled from rural areas by the hukou system, providing a steady supply of labor. Low wages, initially $5 to $10 a day, made this labor force highly cost-effective, enabling ambitious projects to proceed rapidly without prohibitive costs. Firms like China State Construction Engineering Corp, or CSCEC, mobilized over 100,000 workers per site, achieving feats like the 57-floor Jin Mao Tower in just 4 years back in 1998. This immense scale allowed China to build at speeds few other countries could match, fundamentally reshaping its urban and rural landscapes in a remarkably short time. China invested heavily in infrastructure as a foundation for economic growth, particularly after the 2008 global financial crisis with massive stimulus spending. A $586 billion stimulus package, or 4 trillion RMB, targeted roads, ports, and power, leading to the construction of 160,000 kilometers of highways between 1998 and 2023. This created the world's longest highway network, spanning 183,000 kilometers by recent counts, connecting distant regions and facilitating trade across the vast country. Chinese ports now handle 30% of global container traffic, showcasing the massive investment in maritime infrastructure that supports international commerce. Roads, railways, ports, and power plants, including 1.2 million kilometers of transmission lines, connected the country and boosted productivity, contributing 30% to GDP growth from 1990 to 2010. Infrastructure became the engine of development, transforming China's economic landscape and elevating its global standing through interconnected networks. China now boasts the largest high-speed rail network in the world, growing from 0 kilometers in 2007 to 45,000 kilometers by 2024, a staggering expansion. Bullet trains, reaching speeds of 350 kilometers per hour, like the Beijing-Shanghai line, cut travel time from 12 hours to just 4 hours, revolutionizing mobility. These megaprojects, such as the 1,318-kilometer Beijing-Shanghai line opened in 2011, dramatically reduced travel time and increased trade between major economic hubs. Other monumental feats include the 55-kilometer Hong Kong-Zhuhai-Macau Bridge, the world's longest sea-crossing bridge, completed in 2018 after years of focused effort. The Three Gorges Dam, completed in 2006 with a 22.5 gigawatts capacity, and the 2,800-kilometer Beijing-Guangzhou HSR in 2012 further exemplified this ambition and engineering prowess. Speed became a national priority, linking distant regions like never before and fostering unprecedented connectivity across China's vast territory. Building fast also came with significant risks and consequences, raising questions about sustainability and long-term planning in this ambitious endeavor. Some projects were built before demand existed, leading to phenomena like ghost cities such as Ordos Kangbashi, which remain underpopulated today. Ordos Kangbashi, built for 1 million residents, had only 100,000 by 2010, and Tianducheng, a Paris replica, had only 30% occupancy despite its grand design. Critics point to mounting local government debt, which hit $13 trillion in 2023, equivalent to 76% of China's GDP, straining finances. Environmental damage is another major concern, including the loss of 20% of arable land and pollution from 10 billion tons of concrete used between 2000 and 2020. Air quality issues also emerged, tragically highlighted by the 2011 Wenzhou train crash on the high-speed rail network, which killed 40 people and exposed safety flaws. Today, China is shifting its focus from sheer speed to sustainability, embracing a new era of high-quality development under Xi Jinping's leadership. The 14th Five-Year Plan from 2021 to 2025 prioritizes green infrastructure, renewable energy, and smart cities to balance growth with environmental care. China now leads in renewable energy with 1,200 gigawatts of solar and wind capacity by 2023, showcasing its commitment to a greener future worldwide. Innovation, technology, and quality are becoming more important than rapid expansion, driving new initiatives in advanced manufacturing and research. The Belt and Road Initiative, launched in 2013, has exported China's infrastructure model to over 150 countries, with over $1 trillion invested in global projects. Growth targets are slowing to around 5%, emphasizing sustainability towards carbon neutrality by 2060, indicating a profound shift in national priorities. The next phase of growth may look very different, balancing economic development with environmental protection and social equity for the long term. China's construction boom changed the world, lifting 800 million people out of poverty according to the World Bank in an unprecedented achievement. It reshaped global trade, with China becoming a top port operator and deeply integrating into the global economy through its vast networks. This building experiment, unlike any other in human history, provided a unique model for rapid development with its scale and speed, but it also raised critical questions about speed versus balance and the long-term planning required for sustainable growth moving forward. The legacy of China's infrastructure boom will continue to be studied and debated for generations to come, shaping discussions on development worldwide.